It's very important to get on well with our neighbours, but sometimes it's not always possible. There always seems to be one who makes it a bit of a challenge. We have a neighbour like that. This is my poem called Neighbours. We live out in the suburbs, a neat and tidy cul-de-sac. We know all of our neighbours and they usually have our back. Each week when bin day comes around, we put out our wheelie bin. And when it has been emptied, our next door neighbour brings it in. We go about our weekend chores, cut the grass and whipper snip, trim some branches, feed and weed, maybe give the hedge a clip. Pull up stumps round 4 o'clock, wash up and have a shower, put all the tools back in the shed, then it's time for happy hour. We enjoy the peace and quiet, but soon it all is shattered, as the bloke across the street thinks he's the only one that mattered. Yes, there's always one in every crowd, a right pain in the ass, because every weekend at that time he decides to mow his grass. But it's not just his lawn mower that makes our life a living hell. He's also got a whippersnipper and a pruning saw as well. He revs up all these garden tools to within inches of their life, but destroying our serenity, he could find himself in strife. Because when we sit back to enjoy a well-earned ice-cold beer, the sound of screeching garden tools is not what we want to hear. So I sit and think and plan revenge. If he revs up one more tool and keeps that racket up for long, he could end up in the pool. Then on one fateful afternoon, after I'd had one or two, I thought I'd go and have a chat. Sure, what harm could it do? I wandered over to his house. He lives across the street. I said, "How's it going, mate? How about this heat? I've had a busy day, you know, and now need to unwind. So maybe keep the noise down, if you would be so kind." Well, he looked at me aghast, sweat dripping from his brow. He said, "It's way too hot during the day, so I like to do it now." Well, I said, "Sure, I agree with you, but we're all in the same boat. But if you choose to keep it up, you could be the victim of a poet. So maybe you could tone it down after 4:30 or 5. Then we all can live in harmony and peacefully survive." Well, after our conversation, I was sure he understood. So I trotted off back home as I thought all would be good. I sat down on the veranda, cracked a beer in the sunset, and left him on his driveway in a lather of hot sweat. I was content at how it handled it. It seemed it worked out in the end. And I revelled in the peace and quiet with no thoughts of next weekend. But when the weekend rolled around, right on cue at 4:30, as I cracked open my first beer, he cranked up his mower. Well, to say I was a bit pissed off, that would be understated. So I had a few more ice-cold beers till my anger had abated. I sat and seethed and hatched a plan. I thought it would be sweet. If I took my chainsaw over there, I'd be the hero of our street. So I got the good old chainsaw out to sharpen up the chain, as that noisy bugger across the street was driving me insane. I revved it up with gusto. I was getting ready for the kill, till my dear wife stopped me in my tracks. She said, "Hey Jerry, time for you to chill." She convinced me rather quickly I wouldn't like it in the slammer. So I'm going shopping in the morning and I'm getting a jackhammer. I don't really need one, and it's sure to cost a packet, but I know that when I fire it up, it will really cause a racket. I've checked the council website and the noise nuisance regulation. Tomorrow morning in our street, there will be some agitation. I'm going over to his house. He's in for quite a shock when I crank it up outside his door, right on 7 o'clock.